The world-famous Butch and Bob Show.
World famous Butch and Bob Show right here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup, Big Dog Country Radio. And Bob, how's it going?
Going well.
Going well.
Yep.
Just perking right along, huh?
Yep. Another day, another ball game.
Skipping your step and a sing in your heart, right?
Ready to roll.
A song in your heart, not sing in your heart. Song in your heart, right? Just trying to perk you up here, Bob. All right, we've got a special guest on the phone with us this morning. Who do we have?
It is Tuesdays with Tillery. We got State Senator Blake Tillery on the phone. Blake, always good to talk to you. Again, it's approaching crossover day on Thursday, busy time. So give us the schedule. What's on your plate for today?
Yeah, thanks, Bob. I'm glad that Butch has got you all perky and happy today.
Try. Hey, Blake, that's a full-time job. I don't know if I'll ever succeed.
We got about 25 bills on the Senate calendar today. You're right, it's the day before, the session day before crossover on Thursday. The crossover is the day that if a bill doesn't clear one chamber, it's effectively dead, but nothing's ever dead at the Capitol. So, but it's at least its straight path forward is dead for the year. So today there'll be things on the floor from everything from trying to address the shortage we're having in EMS workers and ambulances, even looking at potentially putting ambulances strategically around the state. Heard it in Wayne County, heard it in Toombs County, heard it in Coffee County, sorry. Excuse me. Where really they're just having to wait for transfers to other facilities and can't get people out to where they need to be because of the lack of ambulances statewide. So that's one of the bills. You're also going to have a constitutional amendment on the floor today about gambling and casino gambling. I imagine it goes down in flames, but it'll be on the floor today. That's just two of them. A lot of other stuff going on, of course. We are very focused on the events in Athens over the past week. I dropped a bill yesterday that about the death of the young Augusta University nursing student who was killed by someone who was in our country illegally. The bill I dropped yesterday has 33 co-signers, so it has enough to pass the Senate with just the co-signers. That would make counties, cities, and sheriffs liable if they're not enforcing Georgia immigration laws. So if you don't enforce Georgia's immigration laws, you're waiving your sovereign immunity that the state provides for you, and you can be held responsible for the outcomes of not enforcing those. A lot of other topics, of course, those are probably the big ones right now.
I got a chance to see the governor. He made some comments about that situation. I saw the vigil last night that they had on campus. Just a really tragic story, sad story. But I talked to Stephen Meeks yesterday again. Something needs to be done in Washington. The president could do something about that border tomorrow if he wanted to, but they just continue to let them cross. It's just a scary situation.
The reason that we're not in Washington, obviously, but the reason that I, as a citizen, didn't think that the border proposal was a good idea is because it allowed 5,000 crossings a day until you would enforce the border closings. I don't understand why you can't just fix the border and then let's have a discussion about everything else. Right. I think that's where most folks in our area feel.
Well, 7 million illegal immigrants have crossed that border in just over 3 years. 7 million. That is just a phenomenal number there. They just they've opened up the spigot and then they're just flowing in with no repercussions.
Well,
of course, who puts them up in hotels and houses and pays and all this kind of stuff? The taxpayers of America.
Well, the lieutenant governor actually, my bill's pretty strong. The lieutenant governor actually told me yesterday if it went strong enough, he got a proposal that would essentially, if a city wants to be a sanctuary city, you may see a proposal from the lieutenant governor's office that disbands their charter. Folks are fed up. Americans are generally extremely giving and kind people, and I think we still are. But when folks feel like they're kind of getting taken advantage of, it goes too far.
Yeah, Athens is a sanctuary city. Yeah. President Biden going to Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. It's really not our purview at the state level. Because of inaction in Washington, you're seeing the state just say, look, we'll take steps that maybe we don't even have the power to do, but we're going to do something.
President Biden is finally visiting the border now that 53% of Americans have decided that they would like to have a wall along that border. So the political pressure is getting to him.
One thing you got to do is the budget. Where's the budget stand at this point in the state? Again, you're in charge of that. That doesn't cross over, does it? It has to be passed, right?
It was supposed to get to us by crossover, but sometimes the House takes a little bit more time than they're supposed to. So I don't think we'll see the big budget before crossover. We did get the little budget finished yesterday, the amended budget for FY24. It passed both the House and the Senate in conference committee, and it sits on the governor's desk now. He has to sign it by this weekend. It's kind to our area. It looks after things there. Might have seen there was a grand announcement yesterday at the Jesup Airport for $1.7 million for improvements there. We also are looking at things along the river that have been focuses for a lot of citizens and a lot of community interest there, and making sure that we're highlighting the historic Altamaha River and what it means to Wayne County and the recreation opportunities it can continue to present.
Where do we stand on that Okefenokee mining situation? Talked to Stephen yesterday. You're going to get your thoughts. Where does that stand at this point?
I don't know where the bill stands on mining. Hang on one second right here. Somebody, apologize. Don't know where it stands on mining. I do know that there's money in the state budget to essentially redo the state park areas down there. $2.5 million there. It also highlights the importance of the region. Sometimes the Senate, if we don't have the bill yet from the House to deal with, we can tip our hand with things we do in the budget. So there's $2.5 million headed down to that area to preserve, protect, and highlight the importance of the Okefenokee region.
And you always hear from your constituents. I'm just curious, what's on their mind? What's the hot topic for them? What are you hearing?
A lot of issues out of Washington, which we get to talk about, and folks are kind. I was like, well, I'm not in Washington, but I hear you. And the immigration issue is one of those that, while it's not our issue at the state, it has become our issue because of literally just gridlock, ineffectiveness in Washington. Other things that folks are not, while our economy numerically would still appear to be strong, folks don't feel that at home. They're feeling the crunch, whether it be buying groceries, not so much fuel anymore, but really groceries and things of everyday living and home prices. So folks are not nearly as excited about the economy as the national media may tell you they are. And folks are worried in our neck of the woods. I don't hear as much comments about jobs anymore. You may have heard yesterday that Hyundai announced that not only are they going to have that big, huge plant in Bryan County, they're going to get it done early and start early. They're going to roll the first cars off the end of this year rather than what had been projected for 2025. And then the wage inflation that causes with other employers in the area. The folks are a little bit nervous, and I understand why.
Yeah.
Understand why. We don't know that we have the people to fill the jobs that we're creating.
I know there's a lot of jobs being created over there. One of the TV stations has been doing a feature on just about every one of their news shows about the housing, the transportation, the wage situation you're talking about, the wage inflation and things of that sort. But my question is, Blake, is, hearing and reading all these articles about how the demand for EVs is declining. Are they confident that they're going to be able to sell all those units they're going to be shipping out of that plant there in Bryan County?
That's a great question. You're seeing a pivot at the state level away from, away is maybe not the right word, but towards hydrogen. I think you'll see that hydrogen car sales will probably eclipse EV car sales over the next decade,
Wow.
maybe the next half decade. It's cleaner. We have a whole lot more abundant supply. Obviously, we don't have a delivery method for it.
I see TV ads that Lexus runs for their hybrid, which their batteries are not, I guess, charged by plugging it in instead of by the motor running. And so hybrids seem to be very popular right now, but they just only seem to be putting them out. The demand is talking to some dealerships.
Yeah, and you saw the issue with what cold weather does to the batteries when we had the recent cold spell in the Northeast.
Yeah.
I think folks would love the old reliable combustion engine.
Yeah. but that's what's so good about a hybrid. You can decide whether you want to run on the battery or you just flip the switch and go to your 4 cylinders, I guess, whatever it is. But that's what's so good about hybrids. I've got a son that's got a hybrid, and he loves it. All right, Bob, what else do you want to talk to Blake about?
I know people want to get a hold of you. That's the best way to get a hold of you. Again, we appreciate you. Crossover Day should be busy, so just...
It is. We'll be on the floor tonight till probably 10 or 11. We were on the floor last night, so a little after 5, and then went to, and then committees picked up after that. So tonight I think we'll be there till close to 11, and then on crossover probably it's about 11 again. So call me or text me. Cell phone's probably the best, 912-245-9915. If you can't reach me there or just don't feel comfortable doing that, you're more than welcome to call the office. It's 404-656-0089. And we've had a lot of folks in and out visiting over the past few days. Nick Ellis was up here for a little bit earlier this week with the state school board, some stuff we're trying to work on with literacy. Always appreciate his help and his insights. And then, of course, Amy Dempsey, local to Wayne County, is really our literacy expert right now. We're really proud of what she's doing. We wish we could create more Amy Dempseys and do more for what she's been able to do for literacy.
Yeah, she's been doing great.
If that's what's going on, y'all feel free to give me a call on cell phone if y'all up in this area. I'd love to see you.
And are y'all's proceedings put on any type of streaming of any type or cable or anything?
You can watch every single meeting until you fall asleep at night, and it will help put you to sleep at night. It's at legislative.ga.gov, the legislative website. You can see the House, you can see the Senate, or there's actually a feed where you can watch them both right there at the same time on a split screen.
Amazing.
And then all the committee meetings are streamed as well.
Okay.
If you miss one, you can actually go back and rewatch it. It's perfect for those who are narcoleptic.
Okay, Blake.
Well, good luck on Crossover Day Thursday, and again, always good to talk to you. Appreciate you calling in here on Tuesdays.
Thank you, guys. I hope y'all have a good day.
You too. All right.
Senator Blake Tillery here on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show, right here on WIFO, 105.5 FM in Jesup, Big Dog Country Radio. It's good to hear from our representatives on Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, Bob.
Yeah, we appreciate them calling in.
Yep, appreciate them calling in. Kind of unique, for folks to be able to listen to their elected officials here in the state on a radio station every single week. What's going on, Bob? What's on your mind this morning?
It's going to be an interesting school board meeting. I'm not going to be there, but I'm going to somebody with a recorder there, so hopefully we'll be able to get enough actualities for tomorrow's newscast. So it's going to be interesting what the public participation takes place. So I said the big call meeting Friday. They had about 35, 40 people there, but again, there was no public participation. But they do have public participation on the agenda today, so it should be interesting to see how that public participation goes.
Is that the same as some of the other ones where if you're going to do speak, that you've got to
5 minutes.
Get 5 minutes and that's it?
You have to sign in when you get there.
Right.
There's a sheet of paper that they have a sign-in sheet for public participation. So,
okay.
I understand as long as you sign up, you get your 5 minutes.
As long as you sign up going in, you don't have to do it in advance.
No.
When you come in, if you sign up that you'd like to speak.
The school board is you sign in
Okay.
that night at the meeting.
Okay. Text came in, middle school golf match today at 3:30 at Pine Forest Country Club. Middle schoolers will be out there, Bob. So if you want to see some middle schoolers play golf, they'll be at Pine Forest Country Club today at 3:30. They got a gorgeous day to do it. You're going to pick the best day of the week to do it. Today's it. Tomorrow's going to be warm, 82, but it's going to be windy. So when you do your drives tomorrow, Bob, you better be careful. The wind may be blowing it around. High tomorrow is going to be about 82, but the high on Thursday is going to be like 63. So it's going to be about 19, 20 degrees cooler on Thursday than Wednesday.
Speaking of Thursday, like I said, the baseball schedule got changed again. It says the game Thursday against Ware County is a home game, but they changed it to away game. So
did they change it to away or just misprint?
I
like
just
it was on Vidalia.
I just got a notification yesterday from the athletic department that the game Thursday is in Waycross, not at home. So
all right, then I guess next week when we play Ware County,
they're coming home.
They're coming here.
Right.
So it just gets flipped like Vidalia.
Right. And I think Vidalia comes next week, right? Don't they come?
Mm-hmm. They come on Monday.
Right.
Yeah, they'll be here on the 4th.
So it's Tuesday today at home against Pierce, Thursday on the road against Ware, and then Friday over in Pierce to take on the Bears. So we played them twice this week. So.
Okay. Getting all these games in, getting that experience before we head into region action.
It's hard to believe today will be a third of the season done. This is game 10 of a 30-game schedule. So
Okay. And then
it's quickly winding down.
Region begins on
March the 12th,
March the 12th, Burke County. I like the way they do that. When you have it's like those 3-game series. We'll have Burke here, and then we'll play Waynesboro. We'll play in Waynesboro against Burke County. We play that doubleheader on Friday. Yeah, we play Tuesday here against Burke County on the 12th of March, and then on the 15th, that Friday, will be a doubleheader against Burke County up in Waynesboro. And that's basically the way it works the rest of the season. Yeah. After March 12th. I think there's a non-region game in there somewhere. Isn't there? Savannah Christian. Yeah, it's thrown in there between a couple of the series there. But other than that, that 3-game series, one in one place, and then the doubleheader at the other place on Fridays. So that's coming up real soon, Bob. Not next week, but the week after we begin region action. Anything else on your mind this morning, Bob? We got plenty of time. Yeah,
just waiting with bated breath to find who the new football coach is going to be. Like I said, that's another reason why the football coach left, because of no money for athletics. No weight room, no renovation, no nothing, because everything's, by the time they spend money to pay off the James E. Bacon project and the $12 million.
I thought that was capped. I thought that was supposed to be capped at like at $22 million or something like that.
You didn't see the little fine print on the SPLOST reference.
I didn't say the SPLOST. I said what they were supposed to pay the contractor. Yeah. It was capped at like $22 million. I can't remember what it was. It was capped. You don't spend no more than that. Don't give them any more than that. Let's just put it that way. It's not that you don't spend any more. You don't give the contractor any more than that. No. You said they're building a softball field behind James.
They're still building the softball field.
They're building a softball field behind. Is that what the elementary school is going to use? Do you have softball players in elementary?
It's their PE facility.
It's their PE facility.
Right.
Okay, so it could be.
That was part of the James E. Bacon project to build them
it's
up.
part of their PE facility there. Okay. You said softball. I was thinking, there's not going to be any competition out there on that thing, but I can see some, PE with softball, baseball out there. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. So. As you mentioned, it's going to be interesting to hear the comments tonight, because I know when the SPLOST was being proposed and voted on.
E-SPLOST.
The E-SPLOST, the E-SPLOST, that a lot of folks involved in athletics were pushing
just a lot of meetings, what we're going to do with the money, how much money's left over. Like I said, there's talk about renovating or maybe build a brand new stadium, build a weight room, but all that seems to have gone by the wayside. That's another reason why, just talking to the football coach that left, that was a big reason why he's no longer here, because can't win without facilities.
Yeah, and you cannot.
The comment was made Friday by one of the board members. They've done enough for athletics. I don't know what they've done, but that was the comment made, that they've done enough for athletics. That was a shocking statement. So,
wow.
Because without the booster club, there is no athletic program. Just like, take for example, this trip this past weekend to Atlanta for that baseball. If it wasn't for the home run club and people in the community donating money, they don't go. I mean, they didn't pay, the school didn't even pay for the bus driver's motel room. The home run club picked that up. I mean, so I don't know what they mean by they did enough for athletics. So that was just a shocking statement watching that on the way up to Emerson, Georgia. I was like, I just can't believe that board member made that statement. But that was the comment made. They've done enough. So without the football touchdown club, without the baseball home run club, without all these booster clubs, without the generosity of Wayne County, I don't know if you have an athletic program. I'm just telling you. I mean, somebody needs a reality check.
How are all these other communities around us able to do so much more? At least that's what it looks like.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, they all got facilities. I mean, Applin's got a turf field. Pierce County's got a beautiful complex. Beautiful. I don't know. I'm not in those counties. I don't know. I just know that looking around, we're falling behind. I just know that's like, I joke about that press box at the football. I'm telling you, a good wind. It's gone. I just hope I'm not in it when it goes.
You'll be turning to Joe. Hold on, Joe, we're falling. I told you we would.
I'm just telling you, that place is falling apart.
But at least it seemed like a
Those
weight room would
those
start
those
things.
restroom facilities just awful with that stadium too. I mean, that stadium.
And they've been renovated years
Man,
ago, but that was quite a few years ago.
When was that built? That stadium back in the 50s, 57, somewhere.
Well,
JC's
no, well,
built it.
if they built it for Wayne County High School started in '66, I believe, and I don't know if it was built before then. I don't know where they played football. Used to be where the Boys and Girls Club is now, where Jesup High School was. So when they combined it all, I guess they built a stadium there around '66.
I just know the JC's built the stadium because that's why it's called
Yeah, it is.
JC Stadium.
JC's did it. That's back when the JC's were something.
It was way before I got here, so
Yeah.
but I hear the stories. So.
Yeah, and I didn't get here to '68, and it was already here. Someone says, "Preach it, Bob."
I'm just telling you.
Preach it, Bob.
I mean, thank goodness for Touchdown Club. Thank goodness for Home Run Club. Thank goodness for all these booster clubs because without them, go see what the golf budget is. If it wasn't for the Men's Golf Association, there wouldn't be a golf program. I mean, they give about $200 for the golf budget. I mean, come on, they don't even buy golf balls for Pete's sake. Come on. I mean, they've done enough. They don't even buy litter jackets. That's the most amazing thing in the world. They don't even buy the litter jackets anymore. You go to high school, at Wayne County High School, you play a sport. The school doesn't even buy your litter jackets. The booster club got to buy your litter jacket.
Oh, wow.
What is that?
I don't know.
I mean,
guess
how do they not buy the litter jacket?
I guess when I got mine back at Wayne County High School for track, I guess the high school gave it to me. I don't remember having to pay for it.
Right. But,
I don't remember. That was a long time ago.
yeah. Times, they sure have changed. But
Yeah.
I said, I just pray to God for a Touchdown Club and pray, they spend all this money and do all that stuff, but they can't even have a say on who the football coach is going to be. They told them to stay out of it. So it's just crazy.
And someone just texted in, soccer doesn't even have a proper field to practice on. And the soccer field we have is too short. It needs to be about 10 to 20 yards longer. But that's another subject there. I'd like to see exactly what has been spent by school for athletics, not by individuals. Actual school tax money spent on athletics. Don't know that. And someone said, Butch, how about the band? They never did nothing for the band for 22 years ago and still do not do anything for them. Well, I know they bought a new uniform several years ago, and I don't know what they do about about some of the instruments. I don't know. These are people's comments that are texted in, folks. And so I don't know. I'm not involved in it. We're just a conduit for people to be able to express their opinions. Bob is telling the truth. I'm not going to read this one. This one's.
If you're in a band, don't you have to have your own instrument, right?
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, I know both of our sons were in the band, and we had to buy their instruments. Yeah, we had to buy their instruments. Right. Now, some of the big ones, like the big drums and stuff like that, there's some that are universally used, but most of them are that.
I think the school did buy new uniforms not long ago.
I'm scared if I read this one right here that people will say, Butch and Bob said, And then next thing you know, we'll have some folks mad at us because you know how people hear things and then twist it around.
People stay mad at me, so it doesn't matter. But like I said, I watched that school board meeting on the way up to Emerson, and I just felt, I like to run off the road when I heard that comment that they've done enough for athletics. And I was like, what have they done? I mean, without the Booster Club, there is no athletic program. I mean, do you know how much the Touchdown Club? We've had the Touchdown Club. The thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars.
Home Run Club, all those booster clubs.
They provide the meals after the ball games. They provide a meal before the ball games. I mean, it's just thank goodness they've got a Touchdown Club.
Okay. All right. So I got a text here that says, with the athletics we have in Wayne County, more would come out to play if we had the facilities and would be able to keep the coaches. All right, someone said that. Now, remember, I'm reading these text messages. It's not the opinion of Butch or Bob necessarily. Band, where'd it go? Oh, my Lord, they're coming in left and right here. But how about the band? Let's see, athletics. Okay. I don't know where that other one went to. Odom District would be ashamed that no, I'm not going to say that. Over only 40 yards and 60-yard football field practice fields in the state.
Yeah.
So we have practice fields are only 40 yards and 60 yards, only 40 yards and 60 yards when they say, where do they go?
Yeah, I don't know whoever designed that. That's the craziest thing I've ever
Well,
seen.
they just
Those
didn't have the
football
land.
field.
Once they built the track over there, they don't have the land.
I guess, but it's hard to practice on a
40
80-yard.
or 60 is what they say here.
I think it's I don't know, but it's not.
Y'all
100.
should be naming
not
these
100.
school board members. The stadium was before 1966 for sure.
Yeah, I thought it was like 50s, late 50s. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I'll get with Kenny Bryan. He knows when it was built.
Well, did all the schools play there then?
He's got-
Jesup High School, Odom, and Scriven?
Well, they used to
Because they all had high schools
in the
before
old days. They had the training school too. Played there.
Yeah, the training
they,
schools did.
They used to tell me how they used to go watch Wayne County or Jesup High School on Friday, and the training school would play on Saturday. They said those were some of the most entertaining games.
Okay. I don't know when the stadium was built. I just know it was there when I moved here in '68. Okay. When I arrived at Wayne County High School as a freshman from Jacksonville, Florida, it was sitting right there. Okay, and still sits right there.
Let's just say 65. How many years has it been? I mean, like I said, I'm just saying that thing's about to fall over. That's just a stadium. I still, it drives
64
me.
would be 60 years.
It just still drives me crazy. The decision, like I said, Jay Brinson, as school superintendent, the football coach at the time, I think was maybe Ken Cribb. I'm not sure. Athletic director. Anyway, they had the architecture come in with the beautiful drawn $2.5 million to renovate that stadium, turf field, brand new bleachers, 6-lane track, the whole 9 yards.
6-lane track, right.
Taj Mahal. But Sharon Daniel yelled and screamed and hollered that they needed 8-lane track at the high school for PE, and the rest of the board, instead of listening to the superintendent, instead of listening to the athletic director, instead of listening to the football coach, the track coach, the whole 9 yards, they went with her. They caved. They built that 8-lane track over there at the high school that the public can't even use. It's just sitting there. They lost money last year on the track program. There's hardly any track meets scheduled this year. It just sits there day after day after day. It was the stupidest decision, and it set us back eons, because that stadium every day just gets older and older and older, and just
So they could have renovated the stadium.
with 6-lane track.
They could have had a
Go look
turf
at all
field.
these,
They could
go
have a
look at all these
6-lane
places. Vidalia, all these brand new schools. We know have they a 6-lane track. They don't need an 8-lane track. Run another heat. You ran track. You just
Yeah.
run another heat.
Yeah.
Why they let her talk them into that? And I say it's not her fault, because she had to have other votes to do it. The rest of the board went along with it.
She
But
gave
that-
her opinions. The other ones decided to vote with her.
In
So.
Bob Morgan's opinion, that's one of the worst decisions ever made in the history of Wayne County athletics.
So if they'd gone the other way, we'd have had a renovated stadium, 6-lane track, and a turf field, and
Brand
and
new
everything
concessions, brand new restrooms, brand new bleachers, the whole 9 yards. It was a gorgeous, beautiful drawing.
right. But instead, we went with the new
We had-
track there at
right.
Wayne County High School.
Right. That was the decision that had to be made. And
Okay.
she demanded that they have an 8-lane track, and all them other board members voted along with her. And they went against the school superintendent, Jay Brinson. They went against the head football coach and the athletic director and the track coach. The track coach said 6-lane track's fine. We need to renovate that stadium. But they said no. She's yelling, screaming, hollering, so we're going to listen to her, and we're going to build an 8-lane track that just sits there day after day after day. And they said, oh, they're going to use it for PE facility. I promise you. Go by there every day. If anybody's using it for PE facility, they're whistling Dixie.
Not much, because I have to go down Joy Williamson all the time.
It ain't happening.
But it is being used some, but not.
Let the public use it. At least get some use out of
that
it.
surface on there, you couldn't let the public use it.
It just
all to
sits
go to the
there.
Jesup Stadium.
Talk about a waste of money.
Yeah, well, that surface on there, it would be tore up in a heartbeat.
But that's the decision was made. That was the wrong decision, and that's the history of Wayne County. We make, in Bob Morgan's opinion, make wrong decisions.
Bob, someone just texted in Bob Morgan for superintendent.
Yeah,
But that doesn't matter. We don't. The current superintendent was not around at that time, and the superintendent then wanted the renovation for the high school stadium, not the track. So you had the superintendent, the coaches, the athletic director, everyone, even the track coach said, yeah, let's renovate the stadium. Let's put in the 6-lane track. Let's put the turf in and make the JC Stadium a lot better than it is.
Right.
But instead, they put that money toward the new track instead of renovating JC Stadium.
exactly.
They're talked about that Davidson and said Ray and Bruce voted no on moving the track. Someone texted in on that.
Speaking of superintendent, you just heard Blake Tillery brag on Amy Denny, working for the State Board of Education.
So one of my friends said to me, that was a layup too. Had a chance to get her superintendent, but we went for a half-court shot. So that's a Bob Morgan opinion as well. So that was another decision that was not well made.
Well, someone just texted in, build a $5 million ag center instead of the 12. There will be funds for the stadium, weight room. You know what you could do with that money there at JC Stadium if you had $7 million?
Yeah, a lot.
A lot.
And see, those were the meetings that were held. I mean, they asked those people to help support the East Blast. Go talk to those people on the committee. They met, and that was the discussion. When they build these two facilities, how much money is going to be left, and is there going to be enough money to either renovate, or is there going to be enough money to build? That was going to be the decision. But no one, we're not going to get to there. That's the pipe dream right now.
I've only read just a small sample of the text messages that come in. If the school board meeting tonight is if the like I said, you've got to answer to the people.
Right, it's going to be.
It's going to be something else tonight because these text messages are coming. I read just a sample of them, and the harsh ones I didn't read. Okay. Because I don't want people saying, well, Butch and Bob said. We didn't say anything on here. I'm reading text messages except for what Bob's saying. Somebody says, do we want a 36,000 square foot hog pen? I think that's overstating a little bit, but,
Well, just, here's what I don't understand. I said, they had that meeting, and Todd Wise is the one who said, look, he thinks 12.5 billion. And again, they stress time and time again, make it clear, no one is against a new ag facility. Everyone's on board.
Everybody's on board.
But Ware built one recently. Coffee built one recently. Pierce built one recently. They just showed that Jasper County, Pickens County built one bigger than what is proposed, and there was $6.6 million. So the question is, why is this proposal $12 million? That question was asked by Todd Wise, but I never heard an answer. It was just like, here's the drawing, this is the plan, this is what we're going to do with, and
well, it's going to be interesting to hear the school board's comments tonight on why they're doing what they're doing. Right. They've got to have reasons for it, Bob. They've got to
answer it, right? They
got to have reasons for it. They got to be some legitimate reasons on what they're doing, because a lot of times if you're not in there looking at the figures and seeing what's going on, you can make opinions and you can say certain comments, but if you got in there and took a look at it from the inside, you may have a little bit different opinion. But it will be interesting to see how the school board members, and like I said, if the school board meetings are anything like the tons of text messages we just received in there, it's going to be something else tonight, Bob. It is going to be.
I'm just curious how many people they're going to let speak. How many, I mean, the policies, if you sign up, you get 5 minutes. But the question is, I don't think they're going to want to be there all night, so I'm sure they're going to cut it to a number, I would think. So.
Well, we've seen in the past certain issues, the elections after certain issues are not popular, boards change. And I don't know if this is something that people are that passionate about or not. But it'll be interesting to see what the school board does, and then what happens with the election coming up this November.
Big decision tonight, though. We'll see how it all plays out.
Yeah. We didn't get any text messages at all supporting what they're doing. I was looking for that, seeing anybody text in and say, "Yeah, we do need this because of that," or anything like that. It was all against what they are proposed to do here. So we'll see what happens.
That's
Bob.
pretty much the sentiment I got all weekend long. Like I said, no one's against a new ag facility. They think it's definitely something that was on the agenda for a long time, but the $12 million price tag is what everybody's shaking their head about, in the 36,000 square foot facility. And the big question they haven't asked, where if they're proposing it, it's next to the tennis courts. Where's your cross country? What happens to that?
The cross country. Well, if they build it right there, you're going to have to haul a whole new cross country path.
You have to find a new course.
Where?
That's what I'm saying. That's because
and you got to build it.
Well, if they build the ag facility like they're building it, there is no cross country course. That's gone.
If the course is gone, then you can't host anymore. And we've hosted some great cross country events here in the last in the last several years.
It's a great course.
It is a great course,
but it's going to be scratched the way the current proposal reads.
I don't know, Bob. Lots and lots of questions.
I saw
Let's
the
see if we get
broadheads. The
answers.
broadheads aren't real happy. I don't have Facebook, but I heard they were on there about their cross country course.
They put a lot of broadheads put a lot of time and effort into that, Coach Broadhead, and
That cross country
and the family.
Yeah,
Mhm, yep.
right.
Put a lot of time and effort into that. Got the cross country program going.
Right.
So we'll see what happens.
It
I'm
all
just
takes
glad.
place
I'm
tonight.
just glad that I'm not on the school board and I don't have to make these decisions. I'm just very glad about that. I remember back in the '80s, I lived up in Aiken, South Carolina, but I had a friend here in Jesup, and he was on the school board. And after, I guess, a couple of years, he just resigned because people that had been lifelong friends, I mean, since they were little bee-poppers in elementary school, were turning against him because of some of the decisions he felt that he had to make because he was privy to all the information behind the scenes. And so he just said, I'm hanging this up. I'm creating too many enemies and it's too much pressure.
Yeah, I've got that famous statement I've said many times: politics ruins friendships. I've seen many friendships ruined over politics.
Yeah.
Sadly,
It is.
There's some sad chapters in the book on that.
Yeah. All right, Bob. We did find something to talk about because we're 8 minutes over.
Look at that.
And we appreciate all you folks sending the text messages in. I couldn't get to all of them, and I tried to get just a cross section of there because we are 8 minutes over right now on the world famous Butch and Bob show here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup, and is brought to you by O'Quinn & Associates, Murphy Builder Supply, Vans Barbecue, and First Southern Bank.